Okay, just hang on a tick.
Will be all good.
Let me know when you want them in the room, and open the floodgate.
Yeah, okay. So who's on chat? Okay, open the floodgates. Just go on mute and just Christina, are you happy to do chat, or whoever? Just all of you. Just
I'll allow them in.
Yep. Welcome, welcome. Hello, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. So lovely to see you. I'm Aveline, and welcome to our session this evening. Well, it's evening for me. I know that it's early morning for some of you in Europe and the UK. We're waiting for a few more people everyone always comes in the first few minutes. So as you all come in, I just want to welcome you. Thank you for being here, and ask perhaps you could put your location in the chat and let us know where you're joining us from. It's always fun to see where everyone is. And it's wonderful to see so many wonderful faces. You'll get a chance to see everyone's faces a bit later, but for now you get the slides. That way you can get your cuppa, or, you know, keep eating your toast, cookies, whatever it will be. I know, I've been there too. So, all right. What are we? 8:02. Well, I'm dialing in from bottom end of the Gold Coast in sunny Australia, and it is lovely to be here. Thank you. So ready to do business differently. This is what we're here for. I am going to get started, and I'm going to honour your time. We're going to stop at the top of the hour, so we're going to fit a lot into this. I've got a bit to get through. So first of all, for those who haven't met me before, I think there's quite a few of you who have, but this is me, founder of the 6-Star Business, and I have my own business called Journey Point. I'm the host of the 6-Star Business podcast. I know there's probably a few of you here who've been on the podcast, and I'm a lover of nature, people, and living life authentically. And another little tidbit or interesting fun fact about me, I'm learning German at the moment. If someone had told me 12 months ago I was going to learn German, I would have laughed at them, but here I am. Okay, so that's me. I'm going to introduce you to Marti. She's going to be coming in later in the session. And Marti is based in California. And if any of you do business with America, you know that right now it's about 3 a.m. And we tried to get her live, but she didn't feel that she'd be able to be consciously, you know, on her game at 3 a.m. So we've actually got her video of her session, okay? But she would have loved to have been here live. She's the founder of Precision Consciousness. She was a graduate of Harvard and Yale, and she's a podcast host. She's an author, a speaker, a mentor, and she loves the wilderness, human potential, and embracing the beauty and power of life. And yeah, so let's get into this. So, bit of housekeeping, boring stuff. Please turn off your distractions. Sometimes I sound like a broken record when I say this, but whenever I forget to say it, someone ends up leaving on their phone or their computer notifications. So please turn all those off, including barking dogs and whatever you've got around you. I ask you to be open to the new. We are doing business differently, right? And there's going to be new things in this session that you probably haven't heard of before or experienced. And it's nothing scary, it's just new. Engage with us. So when we come out of the sessions, there's going to be 2 sessions, you'll get a chance to talk. Use the chat. If there's a question or a comment, please use the chat. And it's going to be different in that we won't have small breakout rooms like we have in the past. And so there's going to be less opportunity to have these kind of group discussions, but there will be an opportunity to share. Okay. Slides, if you want the slides, you can have them. There's not many. They're a bit boring. What I will say is hopefully for those that read the email, listened to the voice, the messages that I sent through, the reminders, that you've got a notepad and pen. However you want to take notes, please have that ready, because you're going to hear some new stuff and I want you to be ready to absorb and take it down and retain, not just take it down, but take it down in a way that you can retain it. All right. These guys, the 6-star team, these amazing people are always here. We've been together about 18 months to 2 years. We met, and that was the start of something beautiful. And they've helped to grow the 6-star community. They're always talking 6-star, and they inspire me every day. We live and breathe what it means to be 6-star, and we lift each other up. And they are beautiful people. Some of them are here on the call tonight. If you haven't met them, please reach out and meet them, because it's well worth it. Okay, what's the session format? This is what I'm going to take you through today. First of all, I'm going to share some stats. We ran an event last month in February, and it's only a few weeks ago. And one of the things we asked was, what was it that you wanted people would fix first? So what was the biggest thing people would wanted to fix first in their business in order to achieve 6-star? I'll give you the stats on what they said, and that's really cool. Then we're going to have a session with me, and then we'll have a session with Marti, which is not live. So I'm sorry, it says live. It was live this morning at 7 a.m. Sydney time. I've recorded that, and that's what we're playing. I'm playing for you. Then after that, we're going to have a group discussion. There'll be some Q&A, and that's how it's going to run. So the first thing is the stats. So this was the question. What would you fix first in your business in order to have a 6-star business? 30% of the people said the first thing they would fix was to grow their network of collaborative partners. And they talked about it a bit, and the consensus was they wanted like-minded people, people that they could actually partner with and feel like they trusted them, and it wasn't just a superficial transactional relationship. And I think that was the key message that came across those conversations. So 30%, 27% of the people said the first thing they would fix is their marketing and positioning. And they wanted to find a way to stand out better, more authentically, clearer, with clarity, and attract the right customer. 18% said the first thing they would fix was their internal mindset. And when I saw these results, I was actually blown away, because what we have created and are creating in 6-star business solves all of this up front. We have a community, we have programs, and we're all about the marketing and positioning, but also the internal mindset combined with that, because we know that it's not just one thing. It's not ever just one thing that's going to grow our business. It's not ever just one thing or one silver bullet or a magic pill that's going to make us the money that we crave or the goal that we want to reach. We know that it's a combination of things. And it was interesting that these 3 things came out as the top things. So I want to firstly introduce you to our 6-star community if you haven't seen it or if you're not in it. Why are we different? We're all about connection. We're about supporting, learning, evolving, and sharing. We turn up, we support each other. It's not a place to just throw a business card around and sell and be transactional, which many networking groups are. This is quite different. And we, by virtue of showing up, we are accountable to each other, and we also support each other like friends. It's like having a family in business. And it's just beautiful. And the people that keep showing up get the most out of it. And we know that people have our back. And that's what 6-star is all about. The cost is $79 a month. We have fortnightly connection sessions. We're doing a bi-monthly roundtable on particular topics. And then we have some expert guest speakers that come in and do a spotlight on a topic as well. It's wonderful. So that's what we offer at that base price. Coming up, we have these 2 experiences this month. So just so that you're aware, we've got one next week. Okay, that's the next connecting place, and we do it in 2 time zones, 7 a.m. Sydney and 8 p.m. Sydney time, so this time slot. We've also got a roundtable on the 29th of March. There's a panel, there's a topic, discussion, a lot of fun. They all go for 1 hour, okay? So that's what we've got coming up. We also are about to launch our 6-star business flagship program coming up next month. And these things in yellow are all of the things that we highlighted at our last event as being what makes 6-star. And yet this is also the outcomes of our program. And we wanted to make it clear that whilst we know that at base level, everyone needs to make a profit. And when businesses want to grow, if we go back to those 3 things that people said they wanted to fix, they wanted collaborative partners, they wanted marketing and positioning, and they wanted mindset. So our program solves all of that. It actually focuses on all of that. Being profitable is at a minimum what we do. And it was put really nicely by a podcast guest in the last couple of weeks. She said it's our obligation to make a profit in order to serve our customers and show up in the best possible way with our unique genius. So when you think about that, it puts a slightly different, I guess, filter or tinge on profitability. Absolutely, this is about money, and everything we do is about making a business profitable and helping them to grow. But it's not just about growth for money's sake. It's about growth for money and for all of this, and for you achieving meaning and purpose and achieving your genius in your life in business. Okay, so I need to answer that, because people have said, well, what about money? You know, traditional marketers and other salespeople will be offering programs promising, 10x your revenue and, numbers and fancy stuff. And you notice that we're not selling that, because we're about doing it differently. The old way of doing business hasn't worked that well for many people. And that's why we're creating something new. We have created it, and it's very, very powerful. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to take you through, we're going to do a live experience or a live snapshot, sneak peek into the program. So I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes or so, and I'm going to take you through one of the initial topics or modules of the program, which is actually about marketing and positioning. And then you're going to hear from Marti, and she's going to talk about it from a different perspective in terms of what she teaches. And just so you're aware of what's coming, she teaches consciousness in business. And she's been doing this for a very long time, and it's very powerful. And that's part of the mindset. This is about getting your mindset right, so that everything you learn with me, you can apply it in a different way. You can take what Marti gives you and take it back and achieve even more joy, better results. Okay, so I'm trying to pre-frame this for you so you're not shocked when we get to that part. You might think, oh my gosh, this is a little bit strange or out there, and I haven't seen this in a typical business program before. And you'd probably be right. This is very different. We are 6-star. It is unique. So I'm going to take you through this module as if you are my customers in a cohort. Okay. So this is where I want you to have your notebooks and pens ready and open minds, and we're going to get started. Now, this is about positioning your brand. Okay, so welcome to the first session of the program. And whilst I've only got 20 minutes, normally I'd have 2 hours to take you through this, but I'm going to give you a very simple and fast explanation of what this means, what this looks like. For those of you who might have seen something similar, this was something I learned in a business program with Bob from the UK. Now, at a high level, what this is mapping one's business brand in relationship to their personal brand. Okay. On the left-hand side, we have the business brand, and you can see the numbers here: hundreds, thousands, millions. What does that mean? It means eyeballs, people who know you. Now, first of all, I want you to think about this, and then you'll probably start thinking straight away about your business, right? You go, oh yeah, how many people know my business? Good. I want you to think that. And then down on the x-axis, we've got personal brand. So how many people know your personal brand? Hundreds, thousands, millions. Is it just the local community? Is it bigger than that? Is it a region, a network? Is it the country? And then is it across borders? Is it worldwide? And you can see here, I've got a few examples in white. Let's look at the one on the right-hand side here, David Beckham. So why does David sit down here? That's quite easy. It's because he rose to fame through his football career, and he's known as David Beckham. He doesn't have a business brand associated with his name. He is known for who he is. So there is a celebrity. He's a celebrity. His wife got her celebrity fame through her singing career, but then she opened up businesses off the back of that fairly quickly. And she was then known more so for her clothing lines and her other brands, the businesses. And so she might be known at this point for her as a personal person, but then at this point for business. Okay, so we plot her there. I hope you're understanding the correlation here. Tony Robbins, similar. Richard Branson, similar. Nike over here on the left, top left corner, sits up in here because, okay, they're known worldwide, household name, but there's no person that sits next to that brand. You think about it. How does Nike advertise? How does Nike present themselves? They have a range of models and people that use their shoes and model them. So Nike sits on the top left. So my first question, or my first thing I want you to do is look at this and then go, where would you put yourself? This is an example of me. I'm just going, yep, I'm probably here. And then in 2 years, I think I'd like to be here. So I want you to think about the same thing. Okay, I want you to think, where are you today and where do you want to be in 2 years? It might be handy for you to just scratch down this matrix, just a couple of the square box with the 4 quadrants, personal brand down on the bottom, business brand on the left. Plot yourself. Now, normally I'd go into a bit more detail. There'd be interaction and discussion with this, but unfortunately we don't have time for that. So I'm just going to keep talking. And this is where I'm going to veer off from a typical, shall we say, marketer or business coach. I want you to be aware of the state that you're in when you answered that question. So the moment I said to you, I want you to plot where you are as a business brand and a personal brand, it's probably your ego kicking in. Could be your left brain, the analytical brain, quite possibly that competitiveness that rises up in us. And we see where others are plotted and we think, oh, I want to be there. Oh, there's this desire. There's this social conditioning need that says that we've got to be at a certain place. And I ask you to think about how much of that just drove your answer then. Because when we do that, sometimes it even comes from a fear-based perspective, right? You're afraid of what you're not being, or you're afraid of what others might think. And when we're in that space, we're not acting from our genius, we're not acting from our true selves, and we're not being the best version of ourselves. So
Aveline, can you just say why it's so essential for a business owner to understand where they are positioned with their personal brand and the business brands?
Yeah.
For their future?
Okay.
Probably that's the missing link for some.
All right. Yeah, sure. So I made an assumption there that you would know that. For everybody who is in business, everybody has a brand, whether you like it or not. We're all in sales for ourselves. I have a personal brand. I have a business brand. So do you. And I believe it is in our best interests to look at that brand and own it and be respectful of it and hone it and craft it and mold it and position it in a way that truly reflects who you are and speaks to your customer in the most loving, authentic way. Your brand and how you present to the world directly affects your success, your ability to attract the right customer, the ability to make sales and serve those customers. So this is the intersection of your business and you with the world. Did I answer that properly, Corey?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Now, I like you to do an exercise, a slight little exercise for me. I'd like you to now think about, just clear your mind for a bit. Now I want you to go within, tap inside to who you really are. You know, the inner voice, the deep part of you, the one that calls to you sometimes when you're not listening, and then it calls, and then finally you answer it. The one that knows when you need to make a decision, or you know, where your brain goes, no, I need to do this, but the inside just knows it's got to be this. I want you to tap into that part. And it's that loving part of yourself, right? The soul, the inner voice. And I want you to ask yourself, how can I show myself and my customers the greatest amount of love? How can I show up in the most authentic way with my brand? And in that respect, where would I be today coming through that lens? And then where would I really want to be in 2 years? I want you to write down, mark on your notepad where that is, and see if it's any different to the first one that you did. And by the way, figuring this out may take you more than, 2 minutes. Totally get that. But sometimes answering things intuitively and quickly is the best way to do it as well. And I wanted to show you and highlight how we respond to things naturally from our ego and from that sense of competitiveness up front, especially when we see a graph like this and we have to plot ourselves on it, and it's all about business growth. And hey, we've all got to grow our businesses, right? All right. I want you to just write down what comes up for you. Just get it down. Take a moment if there's more coming up. So how can you show love to yourself and your customers the most and show up in the most authentic way with your brand? Where are you today? Coming from that place. And where do you want to be in 2 years? And I'd be interested, because I know for me, when I come at it from that perspective, where I've plotted myself in 2 years is different to the first time I did it. Now, I have another exercise. So if you haven't finished writing down, that's fine. You can always keep brainstorming and downloading after this. I want you to close your eyes for a minute. This is a visualization technique. And it doesn't matter, no one can see you because, you know, you're all hidden on the camera. So close your eyes and I want you to imagine someone right in front of you. This is your biggest fan. This is the person who thinks the world of you, who supports you unconditionally, but also who knows who you are and your value and your worth and what you're capable of. This is the person who knows what your true genius is of achieving in the next 2 years. So call them in. I want you to imagine them there in front of you. They're smiling at you right now. They're thinking, oh, this is cool. And I want you to invite them into the conversation and ask them, where do they see you today? And where do they see you in 2 years? Without ego, based on your true gifts. And they're coming at this with a smile on their face and with pure love. Where do they see you today? And where do they see you in 2 years? So write down what comes up for you. And then just compare the notes of what you've written from the start of this exercise and what you said about yourself. Then if that changed when you tapped into your higher self, you know, inner voice. And then how is it different to what your biggest fan said? So I want to leave you with this insight. I know there's a lot there and we could talk for, you know, an hour about this, honestly. The reason we plot this is, like Corey asked, we want to be able to see where we are and where we're going, because this is how it's the expression of you and your work in the world. Yeah. So you might get more downloads and insights over the coming days. Could be when you wake up in the morning, when you go to get a coffee, walking outside in nature, you might get something else. Great. Add it to your notebook when it comes in. It's really good to just allow it to come in. Now, I'm going to open up and ask if I'm going to share this. I'm going to stop sharing now. And I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions. Or have I just shocked you all? Hopefully you're all feeling lovely, loved up, gooey, happy, contented, excited.
Probably not a question, but if I could make a sort of observation of where I would like to be, you know, in 2 years' time, is that I had no aspirations to go outside of my influencer sphere.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be a celebrity. I believe I'm a guru, but I don't want to believe a guru. So I just wondered what your you know, a comment on that. So it's aspirational, but it's because I believe that I want to focus for me to be a 6-star business, to be focused very pointedly in really understanding the nature of the client that I'm serving and being very specialized and specific in delivering that one solution. Yeah. So if I'm, you know, if I'm Richard Branson,
you've hit the nail on the head. Steve. I think in our society, there's a, and sometimes in business circles, you know, there's this notion that all businesses should scale. Well, no, they shouldn't. And we are all different. We are all unique, and our versions of success are all different. So if you just want to stay and be the best expert in your field and the guru in your field, but stay in that sphere of influence, that's the goal. The goal is to identify who you really are and where you feel that your gifts can be given to the world in the best possible way, the most authentic way. Absolutely. Not everyone needs to be a guru. We don't want the world to be full of gurus, because that it doesn't exist. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Just to follow on from that, I agree completely, because all the examples that you've put there are global.
Yes.
And you get drawn down to, God, where am I going to fit in this global world?
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with Steve completely. If you look at this into your market, your niche, your whatever, then, you know, instead of putting Richard Branson and David Beckham, put those competitors or those other people that are in your world and see where they are, and then plot where you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's how I looked at it. And I thought the exercise of thinking how your biggest fan would put you, it just shifted where I'd put myself.
Yeah, good.
Which was really interesting.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Chris. Anyone else want to make a comment or a question?
I will always bring into this personal goals as well, because yes, there is a business, but if someone really worked out what success means, maybe it's just 1,000 people to know a big, powerful fan club, which is creating a wonderful life.
Yeah.
That is creating even more impact. So there's leverage behind it. So that could absolutely get you where you want to go in life, not pursuing someone else's goals.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Now I'm going to welcome Marti Spiegelman to the stage, where she is going to present her topic. And allow me to share my screen. I'm going to just expand that out, and hopefully you can all hear this. Oh, maximum volume. Here we go.
All right. Thank you, Av, and thank you, everyone. I work a little differently. I'm just going to be having a discussion with you. So no slides. I want you to simply pay attention to the concepts that grow out of where we are right now. One thing I want to point out, my work is in consciousness, and this is one of the things we're bringing to this new program, is a new understanding of consciousness and conscious business. And my job is to get us beyond the language and the definitions. So I want to point out a few things first. Let's go to the quadrants we were looking at with Av. And I love the comments from all of you that took us out of a two-dimensional measure to discover position. And instead, you were feeling your experience, and it got us into different dimensions, different understandings of who we are. Yeah. So one of the things that's very important is moving ourselves into the experience of life, of our gift, of incoming data from the world. And this is one thing that Av and I are going to be doing for you. It's a bit of magic, but consciousness is pretty magical. So that's one little clue for you. Another clue here is that the two sets of data, of imaginings that Av asked you to do, consulting yourself about who you are and how you work, consulting then an imagined audience about who you are and what your gift is and so on. The first set of notes that you made for yourself, you're going inside yourself. You're bringing awareness into yourself. Yeah. The second set of imaginings that Av asked you to do, you're moving awareness outside yourself. Yeah. And you're collecting data. And that data is real. If you can imagine it, it's out there somewhere. And this is very, very key, because what we have in the world with people competing, me versus you, measuring lagging indicators in business that cause us so many problems, the way we view the world is from that internal self-referential viewpoint. And six-star business cracks us out of that little box and connects us into the world. So I'll give you another view here. If we go back to the poll that Av introduced you to in that first slide, most people answering that poll, what's their biggest issue? What would they love to fix first, if you will? They spoke about their network, how they are connected out into the world. Well, that's really quite amazing, because inside of us, there is a natural understanding and a natural momentum to move into the collective, to connect outwardly. And if I say I want to fix my network and how I connect into the world, I'm actually really interested in collective consciousness. Because consciousness connects us. There's nothing isolated about a fully conscious business. The next thing people were interested in fixing, their marketing, their positioning. Well, what this actually is our function in that big collective. And one of the things, the discoveries you all just made looking at Av's quadrants, some of you realize there are other categories, if you will, other functions that you serve. You don't fit in the 4, there's more dimensions. And we find, as we talk about consciousness and business, that our value is determined by function, not position. Yeah, it's determined by the give and take of our gift, and not even by numbers. As Steve said, he's happy in that first quadrant, and Andre found there's another place, some other dimension in that. Yeah. And the third thing in that poll was mindset, and we'll talk about this a little bit. We wonder who we are. We wonder, oh, what am I good at? Am I good enough? Did I say that right? You know, that internal worry, that internal mindset. One of the things about becoming a 6-star business, one of the big core themes and momentums in our course is going to be understanding ourselves via our collective identity. Yeah. So you could say that first bit that Av had you do is your own internal personal idea of who you are. And the second set of imaginings that you wrote down, that's your collective identity. And the more we live into that collective identity, the more powerful we are, the freer we are, the better we feel, the less we need to compete, the more love becomes an organizing principle and our way of being. And love is an energy, it's an organizing principle of consciousness. So these are clues to what it is to become conscious, what it is going to be to actually have a 6-star business. So let me tell you a little bit about consciousness. I call it the big consciousness, or consciousness with a capital C. If we look at physics or astrophysics, let's sit down with a few scientists. They'll tell us that the universe is conscious, and they'll say that consciousness is a constant flow of energy and information throughout the universe. And that flow, according to physics, as things flow, whirlpools are created, if you will. And in a 3-dimensional space, a 4-dimensional space, that whirlpool becomes a spherical entity. So that flow is creating galaxies, it's creating planets, it's creating all of us here. And our existence, the form that we are, the planet that we live on, is all maintained by that constant flow of energy and information. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because as uniquely conscious beings, humans, everything inside us came from outside of us. We are constantly informed by that universe. And the most powerful, resilient, negotiable, creative state we can be in is to be awake to that constant influx of information. That's how everything happens. That's how every idea comes to us. That's how every creative spark gets lit up. And the secret to being conscious, the secret to developing a 6-star business actually depends on what you're doing with awareness. Now, for humans, there are 2 main parts of consciousness. One is our capacity to perceive. And so the word perception, I use it in a very unique way. The original meaning of the word perception, if we go back to the Greek and Latin roots, is to know the world through the senses. And all that data streaming through our structures, entering our nervous system, getting recorded on our brains, we initially pick up through our senses. Knowing energy, the sight, the sound, the taste, the smell, all of that data. That's how we know the world. And if we put awareness to that incoming data, then that's how the world knows us too. Yeah. So perception is one key to our consciousness. And the other key is awareness. What are we doing with our awareness? Most people keep their awareness inside themselves, and that's extremely limited. That's when we get caught in that ego level of consciousness, and we start figuring and thinking and measuring. But the ego portion of the brain, here's a little secret for you, is not wired through the senses to the outside world. So if I get caught reflecting on myself at that ego level, my limbic system gets a little charged up. You know how it goes. It's like being a ping pong ball caught in a little box, right? And eventually there's no way out, and the limbic system gets worse and worse, and the fear circuit fires, and then we're afraid of stuff. And it just is a really steep downhill slope, and it's pretty hard to put the brakes on. So again, the secret is getting your awareness out of there and back into the world and allowing yourself to be informed. Now, there's a lot of detail to what I've just shared with you, and there are beautiful principles and extraordinary technologies that we unfold during the course, and a lot of precise skill. I call it precision consciousness for a reason. But this is the key. Will we connect into the world and be known by the world? Yeah. Or will we only know the world by closing ourselves off inside and looking at what we knew yesterday? Are we going to source from who we are becoming or who we have been? That's the key. All right. Now, sounds really simple, right? How we use awareness is everything, right? If you want to change the world, you have to change how you know the world, which means changing how you use awareness. Well, it turns out for Western people, this is quite an extraordinary challenge. And there's 2 parts to it. Number one is you have to play a little bit. You have to just kind of let go and play. And the best play is in nature. So I'm going to give you a few exercises to do. And we're going to do one right here in a few minutes, but I'll give you one to take home, if you will. And the other thing I've just forgotten. So I think we should, it'll come back to me. So we should play a little bit with our awareness. Okay. Oh yeah. The other thing is our eyes. How we use our physical eyes tends to determine how our consciousness is, how open our consciousness is. So if look at me, I have glasses and I'm staring at my little box on the Zoom screen. So what does this do? It narrows my peripheral vision. I start to take data in only visually, and my eyes are right under my prefrontal cortex. So my optic nerve gets really charged up, and I end up thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And there's a straight shot wiring from my prefrontal cortex to my limbic system. So if I stay like this too long, I'm in real trouble, right? I'm going to start thinking, oh my God, my marketing's not good enough. Oh my God, my product's not good enough. Oh my God. Yeah. And we don't want to live there. It's just too bloody stressful, right? So we're going to do something with awareness, and then I'm going to give you an exercise for your eyes. All right. Now, Av, I'm trying to watch the clock, which is unusual for me. So help me out here. All right. First of all, let's do something together right now. If you can do this with me, I want you all, if you have glasses, let's take our glasses off, because that doesn't help, right? I want you all to help me discover awareness, because awareness is a little bit elusive. It's a capacity, right? So if you're looking at your computer screen right now, your awareness is on the computer screen, right? If you feel into your body, let's do that for just a second. I'm going to tell you, put your awareness in your physical body. What's that like? Can you feel your physicality? And if you're feeling your physicality, does the rest of the room kind of disappear? Yeah, take a second with that. Now, let's imagine you could fling your awareness into the space around you. Keep your eyes in soft focus and feel the space around you. Be aware of the space around you without thinking. Bring your awareness back into your body and feel your physicality instead of the room. Maybe put your glasses back on and stare at the computer screen with me. Now, that's a little exercise that you can do anywhere, anytime, and I would encourage you to do it. Before I ask for a couple of questions, I want to give you 2 more things that you can do. The first thing is do that outside, in nature, between your front door and your car. Really, it doesn't take but a little bit of outdoors. Take a minute, take a deep breath and let it out toward the ground to settle yourself and put your awareness on nature. Notice only through your senses: temperature, color, shape, wind, heat, cool, sounds. Notice a shape and a color that you've never seen together before. And don't think. Just begin to play with the world through the senses and see what happens to you over time. How your body feels, how your heart feels, what your mind is doing, how your relationships feel. Just that little exercise, awareness into the world. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, for your eyes. Again, this is going to be glasses off. And you can do this anywhere. Anywhere. You can do it in an elevator, right? So no excuses. For your eyes, okay, first of all, soft focus, which means you're not paying attention to any one thing more than another. Gaze at the ground. And you can, I'm here just looking at my desk, that's sufficient. Just softly. Eyes about 45 degrees down to the ground. And then keeping soft focus, lifting eyes to eye level. That's it. Soft focus. Again, notice through your senses the whole space and keep alternating 15 to 30 seconds in each position for a couple of minutes. Yeah. You'll notice your peripheral vision is a little narrower looking down, and it's really big looking up. You can do this on a walk in nature. Okay. Don't lift your chin. It's just eye movement, down and up. Letting your soft vision splatter across the field of view in front of you. Just that changes your peripheral vision and allows your awareness to move into the world more easily, so you know and are known by that world more accurately. So these are gateways to full consciousness. They're gateways to what Av and I want to teach you in our new course. And they are gateways to you discovering the difference between limited 2-dimensional consciousness and full consciousness. So I'm going to pause here. How am I doing on time, Av?
Doing great, Marti.
Okay, great. All right. Do we have time for a few
We do.
questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
So has anyone got a comment or a question for Marti?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest. It's a bit abstract for me, although it's something that's also new to me as well too. So I'm just trying to comprehend this as it relates to your business. Is
Yep.
this supposed to provide you with clarity of mind, inspiration, creativity? Are these methods and techniques supposed to help you be able to broaden your view and hence help you in how you manage your business? Is that it, or am I missing it? Yeah.
No, you have it. What I'm doing is I'm introducing you all to a new way of processing information. Right? One of the points Av and I are making is that in business in particular, what's a business but a node or a center for the creation, exchange, and distribution of value? So we have to be creative. We have to put things out in the world, and we have to know the world that we're putting things into, and we have to get feedback from the world. And in order to do this like a 6-star business, this metaphor we're presenting with you, you have to be in full consciousness. You absolutely have to. You cannot think your way to a higher level business. You can't think your way to higher level consciousness. And what I have found over all the years I've been working with people in business and with consciousness is that in general, in the modern world, people use awareness in such a limited way that we've kind of hit a ceiling. And so these strange exercises, these come from indigenous cultures, and these exercises are ways that for eons, humans have taught their children and their young people to be in fully conscious connection with the world. And the idea is that whatever our gift is, the world already knows it and will give us all the energy and information we need to fully blossom that gift. And every cycle of our business is another blossoming, another evolution, another more valuable output of what we have to offer. And we have to change consciousness. And the big part of it for Western people is changing how we use awareness.
Got it. Thanks.
Great question, Ken. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
Hi, Marti.
Yeah, hi.
When I was listening to you, I remembered, decades ago now, when I was training martial arts, one of my trainers said, if you focus on the opponent on legs, you get hit by arms. If you focus on arms, you get hit by legs. If you focus on the middle, you get hit by both. If you soft gaze, then you can perceive everything.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, that's a beautiful, beautiful analogy. And it's another point of discovering what it is to be fully conscious and mastering awareness. In business, take Andre's analogy to business. You all have your own examples of focusing on one thing and getting blindsided by something else, right? Full consciousness opens up our capacity to know the world in multiple ways simultaneously, and to not just put out one kind of value, but multiplicities of value that bring multiplicities of turn. It goes both ways. Yeah. And the training in consciousness, just like Av and I did here today, she's talking about business and I'm talking about what was Marti doing? You have to imagine these two parallel tracks here. And one track is the visible, explicit application. But over here, my part in this is it's a parallel track where we're gradually shifting how you use awareness. And as you shift how you use awareness and your consciousness opens to your innate human skill in this, your understanding of what Av's teaching you about business just explodes. And all of a sudden you understand 10 dimensions, 15 dimensions. And there is no linear path to this. Right. This is a technology, I call it the conscious technologies of consciousness. These are bodies of knowledge from human culture way, way back when humans were fully conscious and lived in exquisite relationship with the world. And we've lost this over time in modern culture. So our job here in 6-star, in this advanced intense course, is to regain that skill. Mm-hmm.
Hello. So there is part 2, the response. So I hope it made sense. I gave you an exercise around marketing and positioning. And in the program, I will be working directly with people, and Marti will have a separate experience with people after me. And as she was saying, there's 2 separate tracks. And what she does is teaches people a whole new way of perceiving the information. I think there were so many gold nuggets in what she said. And one of the key things is, remember, she said it's the way that we need to move forward, the way we can be the most successful in business is to actually take the perception of the collective. And the more that we can do that and be informed by the world, therefore not our limited little minds that sit here and play in that, you know, fight or flight response and play games with the limbic system. You know, the more that we're out there, and that the more amazing we will be, the more impact we will make, the more that we will be 6-star. Marti's goal is to bring consciousness into business. Our goal at 6-star is to do business differently. We want to help business owners to actually go to a whole other level. You know, my program on its own is amazing. Having Marti and her program and having people go through that at the same time exponentially takes it to another level. I have one more slide for you. Let me just do that now. Okay, so this is the program, just at a very high level. It will be launched next month, the end of next month. There'll be fortnightly sessions, a very small group. Okay, it's a group cohort, very personable, foundational. So it's unlearning and relearning in effect. You can kind of understand that from listening to Marti then and myself, looking at doing things differently. After me, there'll be other facilitators taking people through different topics, all the while having Marti there in the background to help build on that level of awareness and consciousness. That is the investment, $21.99 a month, which is actually an incredible value for the value that we are offering in the program. The detail of the modules, the topics and everything like that, we can take you through that. If you're interested, we can meet with you and talk with you further. So I just wanted to bring that to your awareness. I encourage you to connect with me, with Marti, and with anyone here as well on the call. So that's our contact details. If you aren't in the community and you'd like to try it, give it a go, come and join and meet with some amazing people, please go to bit.ly/6star-join. And yeah, if you want to connect, put your LinkedIn profile link in the chat if you'd like to connect with anyone else here. But I would love to connect with you again and speak with you soon. I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see your beautiful faces. Has anyone got any other comments or questions before we say goodbye? Thanks, Christina. The chat's been going heavy, I can see. Has anyone got anything, or are you all a bit stunned?
Yeah, no, I've got something that just came to me that I want to share as I was listening to Marti.
Yeah.
This is Yanai, by the way. He's not Dasana, that's me.
We're not both Dasana either.
No.
So I've been interested in consciousness and spirituality around business before, and just, you know, as its own thing as well. And I've heard people talk about spirituality in business from the point of view of the law of attraction and attracting customers and attracting money and that sort of stuff. And I've tried that out, but it never kind of really resonated with me. And I think I just, listening to Marti, I understood what the difference was, that it's about, when she was talking about consciousness, around collective consciousness and our place and our relationship with the world. That's the thing that other stuff is really missing, I think.
Yeah, I think you've got it. Yeah.
Oh, I know the word is transactional. So that whole other one is transactional, not relational. And of course, that's where we are with our business, is looking to be relational, not transactional. And it changes everything.
Yeah. So when you're perceiving the world outside of you and you've got that collective input perception, you're relating on an energetic level. Like you just said, it's relational. It's your relationship to the collective that is important, whereas the old paradigm, the old way of doing business is just focusing on yourself, staying in your own little box and transacting. And this is how we've been taught how to do business. And I think more and more business owners are realizing that this is not serving me, it's not working. I need more humanity in business. And they're trying to figure out how to achieve that, how to get that. And they're searching. And a lot of the people that come into this 6-star sphere have found us because they're searching for something else and they're not quite sure what it is. They haven't actually been able to articulate it, but they know it's a feeling or a knowing.
Can I say something to this?
Please. Hi, Akim.
Hi, Aveline. I think there are two things which I would like to point out. One, I would phrase it in a different way. You know, the individual consciousness and the global consciousness. If we all understand that we're all connected with each other, that we not only have physical connections in terms of relatives, families and stuff like that, we also have spiritual connections, and we are coming out from one source is one thing. Then if we have this mindset, then the glue which connects each other is love. So if we understand that love will drive everything, and we will do business and we will do things out of love, then we will also understand that the way the universe works is that everything what we are doing is coming back to you in whatever sense. And this opens you up to the universe and trying to understand, okay, what does it mean? What happened to me right now? What does it mean? How can I interpret? This is something which opens you up to the outside world and trying to understand the things which are coming to you, the things which the situation you are in and everything. And you also understand that you are the cause of everything. Everything what happens to you is caused by yourself. And then you stop blaming others, and then you try to figure out, okay, what does it mean? And if you also understand that everything what happens to you is in favor to you, is the benefit to you, you just need to understand how to deal with it and make it a good outcome.
That's big, that's deep. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I love that.
Evelyn, can I just add something?
Hi, Oksana.
Hi, everyone. I know a few people. Lovely to see you all. If we look at yoga, that's a very old tradition of everything. And when you practice, they teach us we are all one. And if I may, I would love to recommend this amazing book. It's called The Go Giver. And this is the book, and it's my Bible. And a lot of time we were taught, you know, it has to be a win-win situation, but it's actually quite magical if you give first without expectations. The real magic has happened, because it's very rare and not many people do that. And it's not a win-win. It's if I look at you and say, I want you to win first, before even putting my business and my goals first, it's really shocks people, because we're all business owners, we're all on LinkedIn, we know that the normal cookie cutter approach. So if you don't do that, it's just so powerful and so beautiful and so rewarding spiritually.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to share.
Thank you. I totally agree. And I love that book. So if anybody hasn't read that book, please look it up. It's called The Go Giver. Yeah. It's certainly, it's about giving from love first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
it's like a muscle, because it's not natural. It's not natural to have no biceps and then, grow the biceps. But if you just trust and do the exercise, and then suddenly you have biceps or whatever you're going. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love that. Business biceps. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much. It's been beautiful seeing your faces. Thank you for sharing your time and space with me and everyone else. I'm going to, we're at 6 past. So we've gone over a little bit, but I just want to thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Please get in touch. It would be lovely to see you again. And yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to run unless you have anything to share.